What is happening, everyone? It is, what day is it? It's Tuesday, and we got New York on the schedule. I'm the referee from XFL 2K, and I welcome everyone to the pre-stream. It's been a while. We had a little bit of a drought there. I think a lot of it had to do with, the things they were doing down in the spring league, as well as all the commotion going on in the NFL, as well as March Madness. But here we go. So not only do we have New York today, we have St. Louis Thursday, and I have a hunch, I have a feeling, call it an inkling, a smidgen of hope maybe, that I'm feeling that we might get the last two press conferences next week leading up to the draft. But you know what? Time will tell. Hopefully everybody's having fun. How's everybody doing in the chat? Sign you up. It's going to be a good day. I have a feeling it's going to be a good day. So, I saw mixed reactions on Kevin Gilbride. And at first, I'll be honest with you, at first, even I was thinking, not the greatest. Even Rex Ryan isn't the greatest, but that seems to me maybe a little bit of a step up. Funny enough, they have a little bit of a rivalry going on. Saw people throwing the videos of the punches yesterday, so that's good. We still don't know who the president is. So that, it could be somebody interesting. It could be somebody that we don't know. I expect it's just somebody from like the Sports Authority or something like that in the local area. But hey, maybe it is a football name. Time will tell. So Kevin Gilbride, his record as a head coach isn't the greatest. I believe it's 6-16. Not spectacular, not great. Anything under 500 and that low of games is never a good sign. But one thing to keep in mind, the dude has two Super Bowl rings, and they're not really just any Super Bowl rings. These Super Bowl rings were the first one against the undefeated Patriots that season. They were going undefeated in the season and the playoffs up into the Super Bowl, and Little Manning and team and the Giants took them to task, and they did it. And I remember actually thinking the Giants are going to win that game, and everyone thought I was crazy, and I probably should have bet a little bit more money on it. But then it was just a few years later, similar situation. The Patriots weren't undefeated, but that time I thought the Patriots had a better chance just because they didn't have the undefeated thing going into it. But hey, they came out again and did it. So Kevin Gilbride, I think he's good. I think it fits right into what the XFL is looking for. He's an offensive coach. He's a quarterback coach. He helped teach Little Manning how to get 2 rings before his big brother, which to me was pretty crazy at the time. Now they're tied. I don't see Eli getting another ring anytime soon. But if he does, he could, beat Big Manning. Don't see it happening. But again, time will tell. Again, yeah, the president, I don't know. Could be somebody interesting. We haven't seen anything yet. So, we'll keep you posted. I have the Twitter sphere over here on the other screen. So if anything comes up, I'll keep you updated through this pre-stream. Either way, we only have about 24 minutes until we actually get the official news. So let's look at Thursday. So Thursday we're in St. Louis at the Dome at America Center, which I think is pretty cool. They're kind of going off of their schedule, east-west, east-west. Now they're just doing east-east, and the last 2 will be in the west. Again, my theory here is, again, we'll get both press conferences next week, probably Houston and then L.A. And at L.A., or in L.A., Los Angeles, I think we might get the broadcast partners as well. We may not. I saw some things on Twitter that are saying mid-May, but who knows? We might get a jump on the gun, kind of end things off. That being said, I think we'll probably then either get another press conference after the draft with all the logos, all the coaches, the team names. And if we didn't do the broadcast partners in Los Angeles, which I think it makes sense because it's TV city, then I think they'll announce them there. So St. Louis. So, in the past, I don't know, this has been a couple months and not really much news out of it. But Hazlitt was rumored for at least a job in the XFL, and everybody kind of just surmised that it would be the St. Louis franchise. But I don't know. We haven't really heard much from that. And since we've kind of heard that rumor, a lot of things have happened. And the big one is, the demise of the Alliance of American Football, rest in peace. It's almost Good Friday. I'm going to be praying. Maybe we'll get that resurrection with little baby Jesus. Who knows? Charlie Ebersol, come out. Where are you hiding, buddy? Give us some info. But again, I don't think it's happening. XFL, full steam ahead. So yeah, Hazlitt was rumored. But now that the AAF is gone, that really does leave the door open for Mike Martz, Jeff Fisher. Do I think it's going to be either of them? I don't know. Could it be somebody completely different? Very possibly. I still think it probably will be Hazlitt. But hey, time will tell. But beyond that, we still have Houston, LA, and somebody brought up John Turner. He runs a Football World on Facebook, which is a really good group. If you haven't joined, you should join. There's a really good discussion going on there. But he brought up a good theory that it could be Rick Neuheisel for LA. He did a lot of coaching there. He played QB there in college. He actually had a lot more details than I'm able to remember right now. But it actually makes sense. And again, this goes to a conversation we had, I believe, at the last press conference when I was theorizing that the AAF might be having financial issues. Was maybe a part of the reason that these announcements were delayed beyond March Madness and all of the other things going on in the sports world was the possibility that they may be holding out for some of the talent and coaching staff in the alliance. And since the demise, we've heard Oliver Luck in interviews kind of talk about he specifically mentioned assistant coaches. So I do fully expect to see assistant coaches coming into the XFL in one way or another, either as assistants or defensive coaches, offensive coordinators, whatever it may be. But, we could see a Mike Martz. We could see a Jeff Fisher. We could see a Rick Neuheisel. I've even seen Bryles' name thrown around for Houston. Again, none of this is confirmed. None of this is concrete. This is more just kind of things I've heard. I realized I kind of look like crap today. I probably should have shaved before I went on YouTube. It's been a while since we've been able to go live, but damn. All right. Steve Spurrier, that's another one that was brought up, is Steve Spurrier in Houston. Please, let it happen. Again, if you don't know already, I'm an XFL Houston fan. I'm based near the XFL Houston market. So I would love nothing more than the AAF's most winningest coach to come on board to Houston. And let's get the Roughnecks or the Oil Barons or whatever the hell the team's going to be called to the championship, so I have more home games to go to. I want a good playoff game, and I really am excited for Houston-Dallas, but we need a good coach in Houston to compete against a Bob Stoops in Dallas. And exactly, just like Rangers King said in the chat, Spurrier Stoops, sign me all the way up, all day, all night. And it'll be good no matter who we get. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to support the team either way. I'm going to buy the jersey day one. I'm going to buy the hat day one. I'm going to buy probably everything. If they have a beer cozy, I'll buy that day one. So, that's kind of what's going on with the coaches. I figure we got about 19 minutes left here before the press conference kicks off. But I figure this is a good time to talk about the Spring League, some of the rules they were testing down there. If you don't know, if you don't go to XFL 2K, which you absolutely should, or join our Discord where the real fun conversation happens. There's a link down in the description. You would have known that I actually went to the Spring League this year. I got my VIP pass right here. Thanks to the XFL for inviting me out. Really appreciate it. Had a blast. Got to meet the president, Oliver Luck. Got a picture with my man, Bob Stoops. All four coaches were there. But they did a quick rundown, and we have an article about it up on the site that will probably go into way more detail than I'm able to right now. But a couple things were confirmed. So one, there will be kickoffs in the XFL, unlike the Alliance. They're a little bit different. It's more closer to what the CFL has going on. So there's basically going to be a 5-yard halo on the ball, and that's on the ball, not the player. So both offense and defense are going to be at the receiving end of the field. And basically they were talking about it helps with leg strength. There's no reason for the whole team to run across. And when you have something like a halo in place, it still helps with the protection. And like I was saying, the halo is around the ball, not the player. So if the kicking team kicks the ball bounces back towards the kicking team. They have to retreat and stay within a 5-yard halo, give the receiving team a chance to get the ball and run. Now, one thing that they did mention that was interesting was that they are going to have some type of audible announcement on a dead ball, or what would constitute a dead ball, that would actually make it live. And I know I explained that goofy, but let's say something happened. Kicking team kicks the ball, something goes wonky. The ball is on the field for more than 2 seconds without the receiving team touching it. The kicking team can grab the ball and run for a touchdown. And again, there's probably some details in there that I'm missing, but that's basically the long and short of it. Like I said, it's an interesting look. They showed a couple different videos from the last time they were testing and some of the things they were testing down at the Spring League. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to stick around for the game. It was about 2.5 hour drive for me. And it was a crazy weather day, man. We were getting hail. There was tornado warnings. And I guess about an hour after I left, it all cleared up and it was sunny. So unfortunately, but maybe next time we'll be able to get some more images, footage, interviews possibly. And like I said, hopefully if the XFL does the Houston press conference where I'm able to make it, we'll try to secure some interviews and things like that for the channel as well. Some other things they went over, multiple forward pass. Now, again, theoretically, it's unlimited, right? You could do 5, 10 of them. You're never going to be able to. You may be able to get 2. They said they've seen 3 come off in the past successfully. But you still have to stay behind the line of scrimmage, and basically the time is not going to allow for anything more than 3. I will be amazed to see more than 3. But let's say the quarterback becomes the receiver. He's no longer privy to the quarterback rules. You can cream him. He's done. Whereas if the running back or fullback or whoever is the person throwing the ball now is protected under the quarterback rules. What's happening, John? How you doing, brother? We're just going over some of the rule testing they were doing down in the Spring League here. So, yeah, theoretically unlimited forward passes, but I would expect seeing probably 2, a lot of 2 forward passes. They had mentioned Bob Stoops is really keen on the idea and had already started drawing up plays. So I expect to see a lot of that coming out of XFL Dallas. Plus, he has the prime advantage out of all of them. He was the first coach announced. I don't know if he was actually the first one hired, but first one announced. So theoretically, he was. He has the advantage over all the other coaches. Funny enough, he doesn't have any of his staff built out, whereas Mark Trestman, the last coach hired, has most of his staff, and Pep Hamilton's hiring as well. So, unlimited forward passes, 3 tiers on the extra point. So there is no kicking extra point. There's a 1-point attempt from the 2-yard line, a 2-point attempt from the 5-yard line, and I believe a 3-point attempt from the 10-yard line. And I could be a little bit goofy on those yardages. Actually, I have my notes right here. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I think that's correct, though. Let's take a look and see what I wrote down at the event here. Yeah, 2, 5, and 10. Boom, 1, 2, 3 points. So, again, it's similar to the AAF. Gives it an extra, some more range there. Gives the team a possible of 9 points on a play, which is pretty interesting. It'll allow a team to get back into the game. And again, it reinforces what I think the XFL is trying to do. They want a fast-paced, high-scoring game, right? And again, I love some of the Alliance games, but if you go back and look at some of them, there were some low-scoring games, not much happening. So, keeping this offense going, I think is going to help. And going back to the announcement today, Kevin Gilbride, I think is going to be able to accomplish what the XFL is looking for. He's going to help build a quarterback, hopefully get the offense going, and maybe take advantage of some of these extra point options. Because, again, if you're down by 8 points, you have 2 options. You could tie the game, or you could try to win the game, right? Or you could go down by 1. But you have options more so than you do in the NFL. You know, and again, kind of going forward, similar idea here is looking at the overtime, which I think is probably the most interesting innovation, probably the most left field one from probably most people's point of view. But I really don't look at it like that different, right? I look at it like the XFL, when you look at the people they're hiring, a lot of them are coming over from Major League Soccer, which is good on a few different notes. One, MLS built themselves up over the last, 20 years into about 20 markets. They were not huge by any means, and they still aren't, but they have people in place that know how to build a league from the ground up. Now, two is kind of a different way to look at sports, right? You have soccer, football in Europe. You have hockey that both kind of adopted this same technique, right? Where you have a shootout at the end of the game. So, you know, the idea is you would have both teams, offense and defense, on the field at the same time at each end zone, both of which would take shots trying to score. Each touchdown would be a point. It would go on for 5 rounds, and if it's tie, it becomes sudden death. So whoever scores first wins the game. Now it gets a little bit interesting. So what if the ball is intercepted or recovered from a fumble recovery? The receiving team, or the defending team rather, would actually gain a point, right? So there's the option, and I believe they mentioned that there would be a no mercy rule. So after 3 rounds, if one team scores and the other doesn't, overtime would be over, because really there's no point in playing. But I guess that could change with those defensive rules, right? And again, this is all in testing. We may not see any of this. We could see exactly what we see on NFL every Sunday, and that could be it. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to see a lot of this happen into the XFL. But it's interesting to see. It's a fun time to be around. It's a cool crowd that we're kind of growing with here. It's fun to see the league grow. It's fun to see, you know, all of the different sites and podcasts grow as we get closer to the season. We're just under 300 days now. I believe it's 298 days until kickoff. I'm excited to see what games we're getting week 1, you know, where it is. I'm really hoping Houston's at home in week 1. If it's not, I'll probably head up to Dallas if they're at home. And hey, like I mentioned too, if anybody's in Houston, sign you up. Come on down to the games. We're going to be tailgating at all of the events. But kind of another announcement I wanted to make. So there's probably going to be a couple days, maybe a week here in the beginning of May, where you may not see as many updates from me. I'm getting married, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on who you ask. So there will probably be a couple days that I'm, not going to be online. So hopefully you understand. But that being said, it kind of shines some light on a situation as we get closer to the season. I'm definitely going to need to hire some more staff. It's not going to be any paying roles, at least to begin with. But the idea is I'm looking for some writers. I'm looking for some people to help with like power rankings, things like that when the season really kicks off. As well as maybe get some more podcasts in the mix. Realistically, I would love to have like a panel show, right, with a fan from each region, right? So we have my man from both of them from the XF podcast. He's from DC and the other one's from Florida. And we have some folks in our Discord, which again, if you haven't joined, you should. Links down in the description. We have some folks down there from Dallas and St. Louis and all over the place. So if anybody's interested, anybody's watching, let us know. Give me 1 second. I muted that for you because I'm nice. Just hit me up. Send me an email at it's REF at XFL2K.com. If you have any writing experience in the past, let me know. Show me some of your articles. Or, just send me, your thoughts on everything. But yeah, trying to kind of expand this out. I want to make this a bigger project. A couple other sites to check out if you haven't already. XFLboard.com. Awesome discussions going on there. Mike Mitchell's an awesome writer for them. Always got to give him a shout out. Would have loved to have him on my staff, but XFL Board got him first, so dang. And hey, if you haven't already, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to see when we're dropping new videos. Some are going to be pre-recorded, some are going to be live. Ooh, just like this one. And again, I can't mention it enough. Check out the Discord down in the description. Bunch of conversations going on there. Grows every week, getting more fans in there. And hey, you can rank up all the way to Hall of Fame. It's going to take you a couple years, but sign you up if you can do it. Make sure to check out XFL2K.com every day for the latest news. Check out our YouTube channel for this is the XFL podcast, as well as updates and pre-shows and things like this. Probably going to start doing a weekly news this week in the XFL. May test it out this week with some of the announcements that we have going on. And like always, Thursday we'll be here 30 minutes prior to the St. Louis press conference. And hopefully before then we'll get some information for you. We're only getting the coach there, no president announcements. Still have the president announcements coming up here soon in New York. So make sure again to check out XFL2K.com for the latest updates. Subscribe to us on YouTube I already did the YouTube. Subscribe to us on Twitter and Facebook at XFL2K.com. No dot. Sign you up. And hey, let's have some fun. I think I'm going to head out of here. We got about 5 minutes before the press conference kicks off. But hey, it was fun doing this. It was fun doing it alone. I'm not going to lie. But stay tuned, folks. We got plenty of news coming to you. And I'll keep you in the loop as I hear the scoop. Sign you